Does any council member want to pull one of the consent items?
I make a motion to approve
Yeah.
items 1 through 5.
Yeah, actually, I'd like to pull item number 2.
Okay, then make a motion to approve items 1, 3, 4, and 5.
I'll second.
Okay, motion to approve with a second. Please vote.
Items 1, 3, 4, and 5 pass 5-0.
Item number 2 was pulled by Councilman Bowie. Would you like to comment?
Yes, actually, I have a questions for our city manager. I've noticed that on this particular demand of register, it did not include the city P card. And so I was looking at other previous records, and I don't see, I try to understand the consistency. When do you include the P card spending and when you do not include the P cards? Is it on a quarterly basis or every other month? I'm trying to understand the consistency of that.
I will redirect that to Finance Director Ron
Okay.
Smith.
Yeah, thank you. So the P cards are paid monthly. And what would be on this register is basically anything the city has paid within the last 2 weeks. So it just happened that during these last 2 weeks, the city hasn't had any P card payments. Most likely on the next one, there would be a payment being made. So yeah, it's just once a month that we pay those.
Okay. All right. So it's the last week. If there's no data, then it won't be on there.
Yeah.
So if you say that, I was looking at the last registered demand, which is in January, right?
Yep.
And the registered demand at that time, it shows, I think, 62,000. But it goes way back in October.
Yep.
So why so far back? So what happened to, I'm sure there's something in November, December, January.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I'd have to look at those specific ones, but it may be that the payment wasn't made until, so the last register would have had a month of payments since we didn't have a meeting in the first meeting in January. So it would have had all of the payments from roughly mid-December through mid-January. So it may be that the payments for October wouldn't have hit until mid-December is when we made it. Yeah.
okay. And can you explain to the member of the public what is exactly a city P card is?
Yeah, so the P card is basically a credit card that members of employees use. And we have specific policies on how to use those, when to use those. And it's really to help expedite employees being able to do their jobs so that we don't have to wait, because we only do check runs every Thursday. And that could really delay payment of a lot of things if we were waiting for checks to be cut. So we have this city credit card that employees use for those types of payments. And generally, they're going to be smaller payments that are being made.
Well, when you say small payment, if I'm looking at that one, it's 62,000 in 1 month. How many cards do we have out there?
As of last week, we have about 92 in the city.
92 credit card.
Yep.
Is there a need for that many, and how would you do oversight? I would think only high executive management of each department should have one, but 92 credit card, that's overwhelming a lot. Even in a private sector, they don't have that many to give out.
It is
an employee.
It is a lot to administer, but it's really the employees out on the field, the line level employees that are making these types of purchases that have the cards. We have a number of controls in place to have the supervisors review payments, and then finance also reviews for compliance with purchasing policy, credit card policies. So yes, it is a lot to have to control, but we do have controls in place to review.
Okay, I would like to, if you could look into it, because when I saw that, I was I didn't really understand why that big dollar amounts. I was talking with the city, and so I asked them, do they have such thing as a credit card for employee? And some of the city I've talked to, two city, one city have only 10, and they're half of this size of this population. Another city, actually bigger, don't have more than 20. But we have 92 now. That's a lot.
Yeah, and it's something that you have to weigh the benefits and the costs of it. The benefits is the speed and efficiency of being able to get things done. The costs are the administering that many cards.
Well, I just want, is it possible to take a look at it? Because other cities, same thing, but they have less.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
I'm just, see if we could look into it.
Sure.
Why we need, there's really a need for that many.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a comment. So
Councilman Grandis.
here's my work credit card. Every employee in my company gets a corporate credit card. There's expense accounts that need to be filled out and approved by managers. I assume we do the same thing here. If it goes over a certain threshold, then it goes to the finance department that also has to approve it before you get reimbursed or they pay off that portion of the credit card. The convenience factor is amazing, but that is standard practice. I can't even imagine if we had an employee that had to go on a business trip, for example, and to try to get a check for a hotel in advance. I mean, that's just not today's world. So I think as long as we have the controls in place, which I believe that we do, that we're perfectly fine the way we're doing it and the way it's been done for a very long time.
City Manager Lee?
Yeah, Maine City Council, I want to reassure City Council that we do have control measure, and as you've heard recently, we have a great audit in addition to the standard acceptance of the audit. Our city actually goes above and beyond. As stated by our finance director, there are separation of duty in our operation. Depending on the conversation that you may have with other city, there may be a difference in the operation. Fountain Valley is actually a full-service city, which is very rare and different in a lot of agency. And so we have a lot of function and responsibility, and to ensure efficiency, credit card are in place. As finance director stated, there are protocols, and we do have auditors and independent auditors who look at our books. So I can reassure you that there's system in place to ensure that we are doing what we're supposed to do based on best practice in our profession.
Councilman Bowie?
Yes, so Councilmember Grandis, thank you for explaining your positions that you have a credit card with your organizations. That might be true to a certain extent, but not every private organization will give credit card to everyone. Maybe you're one of the exceptions. Maybe you have a high position in the company. And my understanding, your position, your sales in that company, you travel all the time on behalf of the company. That's why you have a credit card. That makes sense. If I was the owner of the company and you are the sales team, the lead sales team of the company, and you travel to sell products, of course you have a credit card. But not every other departments, that 92 credit card, let's identify the 92 credit card. Or the executive, what level, what do you need the credit card for? If there's things that needs to be ahead of time, that's what the supervisor is for. Pay things in advance. There's much more a robust system. Have a 92 credit card, like you say, there's system in place. It's very tedious to go to 92 employee and go and itemize each one of their spending. It will be too much time consuming for auditing part. I run a business, some of us are credit card, but not all of us.
Mr. Mayor, I really think we need not go on this fishing expedition. Our city manager represents us. She's already explained we have controls in place. Nothing's out of whack. Nothing's out of line. We've been audited. We've won awards. Am I correct on the auditing? What part are we not understanding of this? It's never been an issue. Now you're going back to what period of last year?
No, just last month.
What are you looking for here?
No,
We have systems in place, and for you to say that the whole thing is tedious, I've never heard any staff complaining about anything being tedious in this regard. So that's your thought that it's tedious. Thank you.
Actually, it's more efficient because if we had to have every employee submit paperwork for in advance to get paid, so we don't have to have the employee pay in advance, we would never ask an employee to do that, you know, and do the paperwork involved with that would be so much more than automated. I assume it's similar to my company where everything is automated. And if I accidentally put something on the credit card, then I just pay it privately. That's frowned upon, obviously, but there's checks and balances. Or if I expense something that wasn't allowed, my boss would not approve it, and I would have to pay it privately. And it happens, not often. But there's always that if it's not right or it's not approved, it doesn't get paid. And I would assume the same thing happens here.
Well, I can share you on one
Roy?
experience and we'll move on. The public will wait in. If the public thinks that 92 credit card is good, let it be 92 credit card. Who knows? Tomorrow be 100, 110, 15. Who cares, right? The point I'm trying to this is because when I talk to other city, and some of the city, they have reduced the credit card down. Why? Because there was an incident that it got to their attentions that the employee would buy things that they were not supposed to, and no one caught that. It was a small amount, but the problem is it leave room for improper spending of the public fund they're not supposed to, and that's why they cut down the number. So if this council thinks 92 is not a problem, okay, that's your opinion. I have to speak what I think that we need to look into it and define what is the appropriate number of credit card of the city that should be handed out and to what department.
Vice Mayor Harper?
Yeah, but question. I understand Councilmember Bowie's point. You know, I've worked with a lot of different companies. Some companies feel that the company, you know, employees should come out of pocket and then submit an expense report for reimbursement. Other companies give credit cards to their employees and trust them to only spend accordingly. So I have a question. What kind of expenses are typically charged on the P cards? Is it travel? Is it public works supplies? What kind of things is it being used for?
Yeah, the largest amounts that would be on a credit card would be for travel, hotels, conferences, and those would usually be for the executive level, manager level employees. But there are various numbers of small supply type purchases as well, and that would be coming from the line level employees in the city.
Okay, and as far as issuing the cards, does an employee request a card, or is it just issued automatically, or how does that?
It's requested, the department requests that a certain employee has a card to be able to do certain things in their job
Okay.
that they need to go out and do.
And that would be to save them from having to come out of pocket and then expensing, which is reasonable. I think that, to ask an employee to pay in advance it's a convenience. So I understand Councilmember Bowie's point, but I think it seems like it's working okay. But it is certainly prudent to keep an eye on it. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on item 2? Okay.
Just one last thought.
Okay, Councilman
In
Bowie.
any of the credit give any rewards?
No, so this credit card is run through the state of California, so we get a credit to our bill depending on how long it takes us to pay it from when the billing date is. So the sooner we pay it, the higher credit we get. So every quarter we get a credit, a check from the CalCard company, U.S. Bank, that's a credit towards our account.
So it's like a cashback reward.
Right.
So, okay, and that goes to the general fund cover,
Right.
I'm assuming?
Yep.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the same way our company does. We get no personal rewards with company credit cards. That's pretty standard.
So thank you, Finance Director Smith and City Manager Lee, for answering those questions.
I'd like to move the item number 2.
I'll second.
Please vote.
Item number 2 passes 5-0.